Okay, so right now we have, oh, wrong one. Linda McLoughlin Figel, is that right?
Figel, Linda
Hi.
McLoughlin Figel.
And you're the co-owner of Pages, which is a bookstore. And Pages is an independent, locally owned bookstore in downtown Manhattan Beach. During the COVID-19 panic, they are one of the few local businesses that have managed to stay open. Many have gone back to hobbies such as reading and doing puzzles, keeping Pages running. So as a owner of a small business, how do you feel right now?
It's been really nice that we've been able to remain connected with our customers and readers. We're technically not open. We're
Okay.
closed. We're closed to the public. Nobody's allowed in the store. We only have one or maybe two staff member in there at a time, wearing masks and socially distancing. And we're just processing online orders. We're not technically an essential business, so we're not technically allowed to be open. But we just have the curbside pickup for books ordered online.
Yeah. So can you just tell me more about like how you're keeping your employees safe? So yeah, you mentioned like they're wearing face masks and one at a time. Is there any like other measures you're taking?
We have scoured the earth for hand sanitizer and wipes and that sort of thing. So anybody who's in there is like literally every 15 minutes wiping every surface. We're not even taking phone calls right now. We're just processing the online orders. We can control those workspaces better. And we have hand sanitizers out on the tables where people can pick up their books, and really just limiting who's in the store and when they're there are the things that we're doing. And then, we've just, my business partner, Patty Gibson, who I co-own Pages with, we've remained committed to keeping our employees on payroll through this period. And that's a little stressful because we're not obviously selling as many books as we would if we were open, but we're doing everything we can to meet our payroll obligations, meet our other financial obligations in these very trying times.
And I just know like with you doing the online orders, so you're doing like deliveries and then I think you're doing pickups, right? With you have like a table by the side.
Yes. Yeah. Curbside pickup in the courtyard. And I have to say, people have been really good because our hope is that people don't crowd that table, that if somebody's picking up and you have to kind of look through for your purchase, people are politely waiting and then entering the court, so we really only have one person in there at a time as well.
Right. And I stopped by one day and you guys seem to have like a ton of orders, which is really nice.
That people are
definitely supporting. So what would you say right now? Because there is some controversy on whether we should support small business or not. What would you say to someone who doesn't want to support small businesses?
I guess I haven't heard that there's controversy about supporting small businesses. I feel like people more than ever appreciate the importance of supporting small businesses. And I think as small businesses, a lot of us have sort of pulled together during this time and done some cross promotions. And there've been a lot of sort of grassroots social media movements that have sort of started off about shop local, support small business, remember the small businesses that supported your Little League team and gave you oranges at your 10K. And those don't tend to be the targets of the world. It's Grow Produce, it's Pages, a bookstore, it's Gumtree and Tabula Rasa, it's the local restaurants downtown. So I feel like this has actually been a really wonderful time for small businesses in terms of the support that we've gotten from customers and locals, just because I think they feel like to the extent they're able to do commerce, let's do it locally.
Yeah. I spoke to someone earlier before this and she has a spot somewhere in Manhattan Beach too. And she said like all the residents near her, like all the people and businesses around her, they've all really had to unify together to help each other out right now. And like, what's the news? Cause it's really hard to like know what's happening right now. So that's like a really big part. So how do you suggest people like contribute to saving local businesses? I know there's like been hashtags going around. People have been like ordering in, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's the way. Support those local businesses. Everybody has had to really kind of reinvent themselves in these times. And to the extent these businesses are providing online ordering or curbside pickup, and certainly the restaurants, it's a wonderful thing to do. I know a number of the small businesses also have, you can buy gift cards. If you're not ready to consume something now, buy a gift card, gives the business the cash now, and then you can enjoy the benefits of that later. One of the things that I love that has come out of this, particularly with respect to the local independent restaurants in town, is they are collecting donations to keep their employees busy, and then they provide meals to the frontline workers at the local hospitals. Yeah. And I think the number is it's like over $50,000 they've collected, and the number of meals that they provided to doctors and nurses and the caregivers in the hospital is wonderful. And by so doing, they're also keeping employees on the job at the restaurants and keeping them working. So I think that's kind of been a win-win.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's really great. Everything we can do to help healthcare workers right now. So, Pages is a locally owned business, and there are places like Amazon where you can get books from. And, Amazon is such a big business. Like, how does that make you feel that some people are choosing to buy from more, big businesses that don't need the money as much right now?
Well, a couple of interesting things have happened. One is, Amazon competes on price and convenience. They sell books at a loss to them because they can afford to do that, which makes it very hard for us to compete. I think that this period of quarantine and people are buckling down at home, again, like we were saying earlier, sort of more moved to support local. And furthermore, Amazon has backed off of the books and saying that they are not providing kind of non-essential services, and that they're concentrating their distribution network on the critical items, the masks to healthcare workers, the toilet paper, the hand sanitizers, and those sorts of things. So that's like sort of an unexpected benefit of this, is that they've backed off of the books a little bit. They're not promoting books right now. And I think that's a huge opportunity for independent booksellers like Pages, or even Barnes & Noble for that matter.
It's also good to know, like, when you're contributing to these small businesses like Pages, you're helping the community. Instead of Amazon, you just know it's going to like Jeff Bezos. But when I support Pages, I know it's helping the community. It's helping you, Pam, you feel more of like a connection to it.
That is the hope, for sure.
So, as you know, the government right now has been providing small loans for small businesses, and some major companies, kind of like Amazon, I believe they're one of them, have been able to access this money through loopholes, and there's just only so much to go around. So how does that make you feel, just knowing that these huge companies don't need the loans necessarily, are taking it away from small businesses?
I think there's a huge disconnect in that, for sure. To their credit, there are a handful of larger businesses that have accessed those funds and have now returned those funds because they recognize that's not what the intent was. But even still, there are insufficient funds for small businesses like Pages. I sit on the Downtown Business Association board for all the downtown businesses in Manhattan Beach, and the last board call we were on, I think there were 45 businesses on the call, and many, if not all of which, had applied for those loans. Yeah. And nobody on that call had received loans. Wow. Now, there's been a second round of funding, and my hope is that some have now accessed those funds. And there's also some local Manhattan Beach families that have created a fund just for Manhattan Beach businesses, which is wonderful. And I am in the process of applying for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's where the person I talked to earlier, she said like her rent alone is $5,000 a month, and she got like $1,000 from the loan, and it's that's barely taking off the iceberg because there's no way to make money right now. So it's huge problem, and it's just well, that's where there's a whole other thing with Shake Shack, where they, for instance, took a loan for $10,000 and then they gave it back, and it's kind of like they shouldn't really have took it in the first place. Like, yes, you gave it back for small businesses, but the fact that you took it in the first place isn't great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think everybody's struggling at this time, for sure. So.
Right. Oh, definitely. So there's been a lot of different reactions to the pandemic, in association with small businesses. And some people have reacted positively and negatively. Like, what are some positive and negative things you've seen in people?
Again, the support we've received from the community is wonderful. And it's not just the people that are supporting us by buying books and puzzles and things online. It's also just the warm feelings that have been expressed, in direct emails to us, through social media and what have you. And again, I just think people are grateful to have an opportunity to feel connected, and feel more connected when you're doing business with your local small business. It's somebody who lives down the street from you. You can actually walk and pick up your merchandise in our courtyard and not have to your doorstep by a mail or what have you. There's something very nice about that. So that's been a very pleasant surprise. Despite the hardships, I think the way that the community is pulled together has been very encouraging.
So this is what I'm getting to then, but so, when you watch the TV, there's a lot of these new commercials for like places like Toyota and McDonald's, where it's a lot of like support us and stuff. And, obviously these major chains have so much money that they are able to do, they are able to stay relevant through advertising and social media. So how is Pages able to stay relevant as a small business with social media? Because, social media is so hard to configure. So stuff like that.
Actually, that's been a huge benefit to us because there's not a lot of cost associated with it.
Yeah.
I do a lot of it and I'm not very good. So there's a little pressure to up my game and get a little more savvy about how we do it. But the nice thing about it is it's inexpensive. And again, to this point of the support of the community, if you see something and you like it, then your friends see it and they like it. And
right.
Community has sort of rallied around that. And the other thing that's been really nice with the social media is a lot of authors, well-known, award-winning, best-selling authors across the country. When you promote their book, they see it, they like it, they retweet it, they re-Instagram it. So in some respects, we've been able to connect with authors virtually that we probably weren't as engaged with in that way prior to this. The other thing is not as marketing piece, but we need to figure out how to do these virtual events so that we usually have author events at the store. We take authors to school, and we're in the process now of working on a number of different author events that will be virtual. And how do you monetize those? And how do you sell books as a result of those, which is really what we kind of need to do. So there's a steep learning curve, and we're trying to figure it all out. But the young people like you on our staff are very helpful.
I know, I try and do everything I can to help. Well, so you just recently actually had a book release through Instagram, correct? With the Time of Our Lives, Emily Woodley and Austin Brooke. I was on it. And I think it was a really interesting way to keep, the book relevant and still give these author this moment, for them. And also, publicize Pages while still, doing it and keeping safe and stuff like that. And I think you have it was like a cookbook or something that they're doing they're signing and stuff. And it's also, I think through social media, I've definitely seen it's getting more buzz and stuff like that. And it's, anything to help Pages.
Well, no, it's been wonderful. And for us to help these authors, I mean, if you're an author and you've worked hard on this book and your book's birthday is going to happen and all of a sudden there's a pandemic and you don't get to bring that book into the world the way you had anticipated, that's a sad thing. So, with Emily and Austin, first of all, we love them. They went to Maricosta.
Yeah, I'm friends with one of their moms.
Yeah, Marianne Woodley and their dad, Cormac, both went there. But, this is their third book together. They did their first book release at Pages, so it was really fun to be able to participate in this one. And Emily had released a series before that. So we're thrilled to be participants in that. And of course, again, they're smart and young and clever and savvy. So they did their Instagram Live, which was amazing. And we were so grateful that they, are selling their signed books through Pages. And same with Pamela Salzman, whose cookbook Quicker Than Quick. It's her second cookbook, and it's been selling like hotcakes. And she has a following across the country. And through social media, she's been promoting, if you want a signed copy, support my local independent bookstore. And so we've sold, the book's only been out, I think, 2 weeks, and we've sold a couple hundred copies already. It's really very well. And we're grateful. I mean, Emily and Austin's book and Pamela Salzman's book have really helped the month of April for Pages, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, my little brother. And I've also seen on social media, you've done I think a lot of your employees have been doing these are the top books of the week, which is a great way, to, get people interested. I think there was one Untamed for Reese Witherspoon's book club that I know got really, really popular, stuff like that.
No, and that's great. We've been utilizing that more than we used to. So we've had a number of our staff have done their independent book reviews, just like a one book review every week. And we've always done this. On Sundays, we report to the LA Times, the New York Times, and the American Booksellers Association what our bestsellers of the week are. So Liliana is the one who usually works Sundays and does those reports. So she started doing them in addition to reporting them. She does them virtually. So maybe you're talking about that. And she just sort of identifies the bestsellers of the week. And then Cherish, who does a lot of our backlist buying, she goes through and sometimes does either new releases that are coming out that she's excited about, or reviews of books that she really likes. And I'm a little more camera shy than the rest. I need to get up my game on that as well. But they've been doing a fantastic job with those reviews for sure. And people do really like them. And to that point, again, as I said earlier, we'll tag the author or the publisher, and then they get engaged in it. And so that's the beauty of in a very cost efficient, system with social media.
Yeah, it's really just, it's created a whole new world. It's really interesting. So this is my last question. So this is kind of summing up what we've been talking about, but do you think people should support small businesses?
Hell yeah. Yes. Honestly, keep those tax dollars, keep those sale dollars, keep those revenue dollars in our community. We hire local people, we support local organizations. Our sales tax stays largely in the community. Support the Ed Foundation. If you're buying from Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Target, you're not doing that. And so shopping local and supporting local businesses, keep it local, keep it small.
Definitely. I know Pages has sponsored so many events. When I was in middle school, I remember they'd always give out gift cards for the book event. So it's really our time to help you guys, give back. It's also just the nicest people. All the small places here, they're the nicest people, especially you and Pam and everyone at Pages.
Well, thank you. We really do appreciate it. And as we say, I think everybody in this community would say we're all in this together. So, the more we support each other, the stronger we're all going to be. And when we come out of this, we'll be better for it.
Exactly. Thank you so much for doing this. This is so insightful, really helpful.
You bet. Well, thank you for asking, Sloan. Good luck to you.
Thank you.